Hey guys, the Firebird is here. It's just me, and Kingdom is out and written into the books of Transformers history. Now, I'm not gonna do a review just yet. I'm actually gonna do a big critique of the trilogy overall, going over all 3 chapters. So if you guys want to hear my full review of that, that's gonna come somewhere in the future. We have a lot to talk about, a lot of like Kingdom related stuff, because a lot of this digest, a lot of movie related news, since apparently some stuff got leaked, and even some fan works which have been getting some traction that I think do need to be talked about. There's a lot of things going on, and you know, only so much time in a day, but you guys are gonna get spoiled with content this month. Well, what's left of this month, I guess. Anyways, first off, my thoughts on Kingdom. I got on record to say that Siege, in my opinion, was mediocre to alright. Earthrise was also mediocre, just like that was like the worst chapter. Kingdom, I would say, was decent to good. It's like the one chapter in Trilogy I'll say is my favorite. It's the best. There are still some problems, primarily with some of the characterization and the characters, but in terms of action and being a resolution, I think it worked surprisingly well. Now, this video will contain spoilers, so if you haven't watched it yet, or if you just don't care, like I know a lot of you guys just don't care and just want to know what happened, stay here, I guess, because quite a lot of people die in this one, and I actually was pretty surprised with the ending, because I got on record saying that they're probably gonna go with a cheesy anime style ending where, oh, everyone's back, yay, no one actually died, and that wasn't the case. There was some major consequences in this series. A lot of people die in this one and stay dead, which is something that I actually kind of do appreciate. So let's get the obvious characters out of the way. Of course, plenty of Seekers did end up dying, which was a no-brainer. Also, plenty of Scorponok drones ended up dying. Yes, Scorponok was not a character, but a collection of foot soldiers, which I'm not sure how to feel about that one, because at the beginning they made it look like Scorponok was his own person, but then it's like, oh, there's actually like many Scorponoks? Okay. And yeah, a lot of them ended up dying, mainly by the hand of Air Racer and Black Arachnia that we saw in the trailer. So, that was neat, I guess. Also, I guess there was plenty of refractor drones that ended up dying throughout the series. Again, that's a no-brainer, you know, no, given, like, we knew that was gonna be the casualty of the series. But something that surprised me is that we get confirmation of characters that died in Earthrise. If you remember, Earthrise ended in a way where we weren't completely sure if, our Autobot cast survived or not. This basically confirms that Leader 1, Chromia, Jetfire, the refractor guy who helped the Autobots out, are indeed dead. Oh, and apparently Barricade died too, because he does appear in the ending alongside the other Transformer spirits. So it looks like he ended up dying at one point. And if you look at the ending, where Megatron and his crew are basically walking off into the sunset, you can see that there's no Barricade in there. Meaning that he actually did end up dying at some point in the series, although I don't remember when. Also, I guess this pretty much also confirms that Shockwave ended up dying in Earthrise. So, it sucks to be him, I guess. Which, if that's the case, then that's a really pathetic way for Shockwave to go out. I mean, I know he wasn't seen there with the spark, so it's kind of implied that he probably made it out. But then again, there was no reason to not show him at the ending, like alongside Megatron and his crew. Or, you know, maybe if they do a continuation to War For Cybertron, maybe he'll be the main antagonist. That could be kinda interesting, a nice parallel to the UK comics. Also, another potential death that I'm not sure if it was confirmed, well, this threw me off at first, but when Dinobot was fighting Soundwave in the forest, I legit thought that Dinobot killed Soundwave. I mean, the guy had a sword, like, impaled to his chest. You figure he will, you know, die from that? And not only that, the sword also hit Laserbeak. So, I was under the impression that Dinobot killed 2 for 1, basically. But later on, we see Soundwave be just fine, but of course, Laserbeak is nowhere to be seen. Ravage, of course, makes it out just fine. But Laserbeak apparently died, and rather unceremoniously, if I may say. But you know who didn't die unceremoniously? Dinobot. I was actually impressed that they managed to pull the Dinobot character in a very interesting direction and a very familiar direction in such a short amount of time. Dinobot is one of my favorite, if not my favorite Transformers character ever. I know I keep saying Transformers Prime Wheeljack, but Dinobot's also pretty up there. I like how they recreated the whole Colo Hero scene in the War For Cybertron style, having their own little twist to it. Like, instead of him dying for the humans, here he is dying to give the Maximals and Predacons a better future. I think that scene worked. I thought it was really well done. I guess you could say Nemesis Prime and Galvatron also died, because in the ending, it's... Again, a lot of these ones are very unclear. I think this is something Trilogy likes doing. But if you look at the ending again, when Galvatron and Nemesis Prime are basically in front of Unicron, it looks like they're being disintegrated or like reformatted backwards, you know, as in disappearing. So my guess is that Unicron probably killed them, because I mean they kind of wanted to get the Allspark to kill him, so it doesn't make much sense to keep them around if they're gonna backstab you. So yeah, it's pretty weird. Oh, I guess this also means that everyone on Cybertron died. It probably including Soundblaster, because I mean when they got there, Optimus Prime pretty much said, "Hey, this is all that's left. There's no one else here. Everyone on Cybertron is dead. There's no more Energon." So Soundblaster and his little crew of mercenaries could have probably, you know, survived, maybe escaped or hidden on the ground. But the fact that they don't appear here and like it's pretty much implied that everyone on Cybertron that was left behind is dead, I'm actually, you know, thinking that they more likely did perish. Oh, speaking of which, I guess this also confirms that the Mercenaries and DoubleDealer also died in that explosion, since they're nowhere to be seen. And I mean, I guess Bug Bite and Exhaust we kind of already knew from Airrise, but this pretty much solidifies it, and DoubleDealer seems to have in fact been killed. So that was regrettable, because I honestly really liked them. But you know, just another thing that I'm wondering, in that scene where all of the Autobots' souls came back, where the frick was Cog? Like, everyone forgot about him except RC from that one small second. Like, the guy died alone in the Fortune and no one said a thing. You guys are a bunch of a-holes. I thought he was your friend. I think that, well, granted, there's a couple of, like, unnamed Maximals and Predacons who also die, who get mentioned by, you know, Beast, Megatron, and Optimus Primal. But besides that, there's not, I don't think there's any other, you know, on-screen deaths that we are aware of. I mean, there's plenty of off-screen implied deaths, but as for on-screen deaths, I think that was about it. I was genuinely surprised that none of the dead Transformers came back. I genuinely thought that they were gonna pull a, oh, psych! Everyone's back at the end! It's a happy ending! It's a cliche anime ending! But no, the ending's quite bleak. I mean, they fixed the planet, but the planet's still wrecked. Everyone's dead. Everyone we care about's dead. And we are the last ones left. Not much to repopulate. So yeah, this feature's kind of bleak if you ask me. Though, I won't lie, I'm at the very least curious to see if they continue the story, because I thought Kingdom was probably the best chapter in the whole trilogy. I think they did a fantastic job with it, especially since the other two chapters were a big disappointment to many Transformers fans, especially myself. And I'm not gonna be counting the illusions and stuff like deaths or whatever, because those are just, you know, illusions. Oh, speaking of illusions, I'm guessing that also means Omega Supreme is dead. I mean, he stayed behind on Cybertron, and he's a big, you know, transformer. Being very big and relying on Energon to survive don't mix very well in an environment where, where, you know, there's not much Energon going around for everyone. So, Omega Supreme dying is another one that I honestly do believe, probably happened off screen. Oh yeah, speaking of off-screen deaths, another one I forgot about is Sunstreaker. Apparently Sunstreaker also died off-screen, because Sideswipe was like very surprised that he appeared. And the forest has a tendency to show dead people, dead Transformers. So Sunstreaker is another confirmed death. Unfortunately, we never got to see a model of him in the series, because of course it's precisely what you expect. But to be honest, it wasn't really needed. I think just a mention to him was more than enough, so I can forgive that one at least. Now, the last one I think is up to your interpretation, if you wanna count this as a death or just like a machine. But the Nemesis is destroyed by the end of the series. Like, the Autobots just leaving the arc alongside the Decepticon prisoners, and that's it. I think that we're never gonna see the Nemesis again. It's, you know, stuck in prehistoric Earth, and that's kind of a shame we never saw it transform into Tripticon. But honestly, I think one Titan was enough for the series, and maybe having Tripticon there would have been a bit too. I don't want to say unrealistic, because the whole series is unrealistic, but I want to say a bit too much, if you know what I mean. But, you know, if you want to count the Nemesis, because I know some people do, then, yeah, the Nemesis also did end up, quote-unquote, dying. But yeah, guys, those are all the deaths in Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom. I mentioned the on-screen ones, the off-screen ones, and the implied ones. There's a lot of like implied ones, like Soundblaster, Shockwave, which you could argue they probably got away, but at the same time, you could also argue, well, they are probably still alive, just hiding somewhere. You know, it's like, who knows, to be honest. As far as I know, I don't think there are any plans for another sequel to the War for Cybertron trilogy. It's possible that we might get an announcement in the next few days. Maybe Hasbro will say the series was very successful and we want to do more with it. In that case, I can see a sequel to it happening. But if the rumors about the next trilogy are true and it's gonna have to deal with the multiverse, then my guess is that this Unicron right here is the Unicron is gonna carry over to the next trilogy. He's gonna be like the big bad of whatever comes next. I think that'll be pretty cool. It's been a while since we had Unicron be the big bad of anything. I think the last time he was the big bad of anything was Transformers Prime, and that was a little while ago, not too far ago, but still, you know, it's been a while. I think it fits. But yeah, guys. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Transformers Kingdom in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, guys. Anyways, guys, before we go, shout out to our amazing patrons: True Blue 712, Stitch Productions, Stephanie Ballard, Christopher Prime, Predacons Hunter Plays, Mario Gordon, Allspark Studios, Scrub Lordo. Also, shout out to our newest Patreon, Epic Net, and to our even bigger Big Boss Patreon, Jordan the Great, who donated $100. And to our other even bigger boss Patreon, X23, who donated a amount of money. I leave you guys to wonder how much he did. Anyways, thank you guys for your donation, it's much appreciated. I need the money to be able to feed Squeaker, because Squeaker is a useless platypus who doesn't do much all day. So it falls to me and you. I tip my fedora in gratitude and toast in your honor. If you guys want to donate to my Patreon, links in the description down below. Some of these guys also do some YouTube content, so if you guys want to check them out, that will be much appreciated. Some of them do Transformer stuff, some of them do non-TF content if you're into that. But be sure to check them out, because you're guaranteed to find at least something cool that's to your liking in one of their channels. I even collab with some of them, Scrubler. But keep in mind that donating is optional, because freedom is the right of all sentient beings. By donating to my Patreon, you get quite a few rewards. You get to see some of my videos early, some of my more longer animated projects. You'll get to see some early sketches and even suggest some things if you want them to. You get to collab with me in some of my videos if you so choose. You just have to let me know. And you can request videos and suggest some video ideas. So yeah, it's a pretty good deal, but just remember, we don't force anyone. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys.